Nothing better than seeing Jason Lee, Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson, Tiger, me, and Morikawa and Wolf just in a freaking onesie, putting ornaments in a tree, and just Rory sitting down like a little kid. Like that. I thought it was so funny to see. It was great.
It was great. We now welcome on our debut guest to the Subpar podcast. He is 10-time winner on tours across the globe. Currently the number 3 ranked golfer on planet Earth, or as they say in your native tongue, Todo el Mundo. Jon Rahm, welcome to the Subpar podcast, my brother. Little Espanol I dropped in there, you know what I mean? I'm bilingual.
That was good. Makes me miss my thicker accent.
Exactly. You can feel free to use that tonight. So we don't play around here at Subpar. Coming out the gates with a bang. Big dogs only. Johnny, first of all, bigger accomplishment, beating Tiger in singles at the Ryder Cup in Paris, or being the first guest on the Subpar podcast. Both big. Take some time if you need it.
God.
The silence says it all.
Think about it.
I'm really trying to say something sarcastic, but
they're both an honor, be honest.
It seems so obvious. The podcast is obviously better.
The fact that there was even a little bit of a delay leads me to that's a win for us.
And Tiger, we'll get Tiger on here at some point. He can come. We'll ask him the same.
We'll ask him exactly.
Yeah,
right.
that he'll remember that much.
Or we can ask him what's worse, losing to John in the Ryder Cup, or not being invited,
or being on this podcast. The fact that you're having to sit here and do this podcast, that's close.
It is close.
That one's actually close. No, it's not. But John, you're winning events all over the globe. One of the best golfers in the world. But the big news of late, personal life stuff. Recently married. Tell us a little bit about the nuptials, dude. Congratulations, first of all.
I mean, what to say? I got lucky to find Kelley when I did in college. I will definitely not be the person or the golfer I am today without her, because she, in many ways, helped me out. And I got lucky because what a lot of people struggle is finding somebody who gets the process of practicing and getting better, right? When it comes to golf, it's a very selfish sport. There's a lot of decisions made just for you, and she needs to get that. And as an athlete, she understood and follows along and helps me out a lot. So I got lucky in that sense. And then it's a great person, right? I mean, you always try to find the one person that compliments you. And in my case, it's so great that, you know, it makes me want to be better to be as good as she is in that sense. So it makes me grow as a person as well. And if I keep going, I mean, if it wasn't for her, I'll be about 375 pounds by now, for sure. The way I ate in college. What else? I mean, it's been, you know, not like I'm the skinniest man in the world, but
you're fine.
It's still,
you look great.
You know,
I think it was
great.
Good.
It was great to find her, and then it's great to be married now.
And she's way hotter than you.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's always a bummer.
Definitely reaching on that one
for sure.
Yeah, definitely reaching high. I got lucky.
You answered that question like she was sitting in the room with us right there. That was incredible. She's going to love that. She'll definitely listen.
I never lied.
She will love that. She will love. How was the wedding, though?
Yeah,
you did it in Spain, right?
Know a little bit about the wedding.
Yeah, give us some info.
We're actually having two because of families, right? I mean, not everybody can go everywhere. So we did one in my hometown in Spain, in Bilbao, in a church I grew up going with my grandma. In Spanish is Basílica de Begoña, which the church itself could be older than the country we're on right now.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, based on, you know, establishing as a country, for sure, it's closer to the time where the U.S. or America was discovered.
I always thought we were the oldest country in the world.
We weren't.
Okay.
Yes. No.
Sorry.
So,
all
right. Good.
So in that sense, you know, it's got a lot of history. It was a fun day. A lot of my family, some of her family who flew over, some friends. For people that don't know, I'm from a rainy part of Spain, more like Seattle, Portland. It's not all sunshine like people think. So we got lucky. It was a sunny day.
That's an omen.
Windy as hell, though. So like her veil and everything was flying all over the place. The pictures were a nightmare because everything, you know, I was holding her veil, taking the pictures. Like if you see me, my arm behind her back, I'm literally holding the veil so it doesn't fly off and like pull her head back. It was a great day. And then, you know, true Spanish night, right? I mean, started dinner at like 7 and finished at whatever. Finished early for us at 5:30 in the morning.
Oof. Getting after it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, we had the party and then we went out to the clubs with some people. So like it was.
Oh, the clubs.
Yeah.
What are the clubs like in Spain compared to America?
Oh, complete hole in the wall. I mean,
really?
It's this door, you don't even know what it is, and you basically walk downstairs and know there's a club.
What time does a good club get going in Spain?
2, 3 in the morning.
Oh, man.
This is where it's at.
You got a nap.
It's like Vegas.
10 to midnight.
So usually you sit down at a table maybe at 10, you have dinner, you have a couple drinks. And then when you finish, you know, at like 1 or midnight, you go have a few drinks at the bar because bars are open there until late, and then you actually go to the club.
Are you a big dancer? Hold on, I want to know about his dance.
I'm confused by this dinner at 10 p.m.
Yeah, that's like that's young man stuff.
Well, I never did it, but that's if you're gonna go out, that's what you do.
Man,
that's young man.
I mean, if you have dinner at 7, by 3, it's all digested. You're gonna get drunk really quick.
What's the music like? What's your dance? Rate your dance on a 1 to 10. Are you sweating like you come off the floor like, yo, I need some water. I just went after it for an hour.
I'm hot blooded. I'm gonna be sweating no matter what.
You're a sweater, I can tell.
Yeah,
big sweater.
Shit. It's okay. What are the standards? American white man standards.
Yeah, that's what me and Cole. That's the only way we
exactly.
Know how to judge
Spanish American. Spanish.
The Spanish guys, white Americans start at a 2. The Spanish guys started at 6. So where are you on the? And then 10 is like
it's hard because I'm not a practice dancer. I got rhythm, and I'm a trendy dancer. If there's a trend dance, I'll do it. I know how to do some things. I know how to salsa very little, a little bit, very basic, and a few other things. I feel like the best way I can describe it, I just got rhythm, so I can move the music along.
I would love to see that.
I can say the best way I can explain it. My hips do separate from the rest of my body, so I'm not a stiff board.
Hips don't lie, is what you're saying.
Shakira. I love it. So obviously, you met Kelley over here in America at Arizona State. When you came over here, you spoke very little to zero English. How the hell did you communicate with her and convince her to actually go out with you?
It's a good question.
We started going out senior year. So
you learned.
Well, we actually met freshman year at a Halloween party, a track and field party, because she threw javelin for ASU. And I was already a few deep. And my English wasn't the best because I've been here for 2 months. It was better than people thought, but still not great. And I was in the line for the drinks, typical party. Right. And she was on the line there thinking she was in the line for the bathroom. So she was already a few in. And we had a whole conversation that she doesn't remember. And a conversation that didn't understand anything we talked about. Because
perfect.
I didn't know what was going on.
And smile.
So that's how we met. That's exactly how this thing started. She was actually, which is funny, she was a replacement ref costume, when that thing with the NFL was going on.
Yeah.
She had a ref costume, a walking stick, a blindfold, and she was throwing random flags at everybody around the party.
That's creative.
That's a good...
Yeah, it's funny as hell now that I get what it is. At that time, no idea what football was, no idea what was going on. So
who's this crazy bird throwing this yellow cloth all around the club?
Yeah, I had no idea where it was.
So coming from Spain, obviously you're a very talented junior golfer. Where besides ASU did you look to go?
Well,
or was there anywhere else?
I was actually committed to University of San Francisco, and that was about as extent as my college recruiting goes.
Good choice, backing out on that.
By the way, college coaches do better.
Yeah.
This is the thing that we don't know that they can't contact you. Like you have to talk to them. Right,
a U.S. college coach, sees what you're doing in Spain. They can't reach out to you and say, "Hey, come here." They can't just go
to a high school player and be like, "Hey, they can't. I don't know, whatever NCAA rules, they can't do it." And that's what we thought. And the only reason why the University of San Francisco happened is because I was playing European Under-18 Championship representing Spain in the qualifying section, and I saw a guy with a San Francisco shirt. My grandma had just been in San Francisco that summer, so I started talking to him. It was the head coach, and because I initiated, he was allowed to talk to me. So I just said a few words, and I was in the 8th hole. He followed me the back nine, shot 600 on the back nine. On the match play portion, Spain ended up winning. We won the tournament. I didn't lose a point, and shortly after, I get an offer, and that's how it happened. It was also I don't know how to say this word in English. Is it Jesuits?
Jesuit?
Yeah,
like a Catholic.
Yeah, yes. And my family, they're big in where I'm from, that Catholic part and that Catholic aspect. So my grandma was really pushing for me to go to San Francisco. But they made a mistake with my age, and they wanted me to sit out a year in Spain. So since that was the only option I had, I was going to stay in Spain for a year and then go to University of San Francisco. But meantime, there's this guy called Ricardo Relinque who worked for the Spanish Golf Federation in the U.S., someone involved with TPI and helping college players or people get in better colleges and a better offer than what they can get on themselves. And at that time, there was a guy from Iowa State trying to transfer to Arizona State, which seems like such an obvious thing to do.
Yes.
Right? He ended up backing out, so ASU had a spot. This was in May. And he told Tim Mickelson, the coach at the time, "Hey, Tim, you should look at this kid. I was top 15 in the world ranking at the time, wanted to come. Never met me, never saw me play, never did anything. He just trusted and offered me a scholarship."
How does a top 15 kid in the world not have boatloads of college offers? That seems like you went through the recruiting process. You recruited everywhere. Like how does that go just unnoticed? Like, there's a kid in Spain that's really good.
Yeah, if you don't play much in like AJGA and stuff.
Exactly. I never came to the States. So the only way for them to see me was to come over there and see me in the British Amateur, British Boys, and those European events. That's the only way. But if they never came, they would never.
So you
know.
came to ASU sight unseen, never seen it, didn't know what it was about.
So I didn't have time.
It could have been Arizona, it could have been Arizona State, could have been Northern Arizona. You didn't know the difference.
I didn't have time for an official visit. I had to do my SAT and my TOEFL, which I barely passed. Right, my English exam and all that, barely made it. I actually made it by one question. Had I gotten one wrong in the SATs, I would have made it. And
Colt too.
Yeah,
Colt barely.
I think that's the case for a lot of them. Clearly, ASU was my place to be. And then
you're valedictorian at ASU, dude.
I had no idea what anything was. Like, you could tell, the only universities I knew from the US are, Harvard, Stanford, big academic schools that you see in movies. When it comes to college golf and all that, I had no idea. It wasn't until afterwards where I realized the Spanish strength that they had over there, right? So, you had a lot of great female players, Azara Munoz, Carlota Ciganda, that played there. Noemi Jimenez, who was there at the time, and he was a great college player. Then you have Alejandro Cañizares, who played for them, and that was going to be the next male. And they had such a good careers there. National championships, conference, and many things that I thought maybe that was the spot to be. And then plus, it was sunny. So I was like, well, that makes sense. Sunny and warm. I'm going to leave this rainy, cold place that I live in Spain, and let's go practice. And that's how I was. I came in with the school year already started because my visa got here late. So I just got in and started school.
Did you know from like day one, your goal, like, was when you came to ASU, was your day one goal to be on the PGA Tour? Or was it just, let's see how good I can be and see what happens?
Oh, God. No, my goal to be one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world, started way before that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It started when I was about 13, 14 when I committed to it.
You mentioned that you passed the test that you had to your English portion by one question. And I've heard this in different outlets and things like that. But is it true that when you came to ASU, one of the ways you learned English was you're a big rap guy. You listen to rap songs. Is that true that you learned, like, whether it was regular English or slang or whatever, that was your way of like, hey, this is how I'm going to learn English. I'm going to turn on Lil Wayne and see what happens?
Yeah, I didn't learn English. I learned a lot of slang. Let's say that, because if I were speaking based on what I learned, I would have gotten in a lot of freaking trouble in school.
Yeah, I know people that grew up in America that listen to a rap album not understand 90% of it. So for a person that doesn't speak
I never
English,
did.
Like, what shit are they talking about?
I had to like the beat because I had no clue what was going on in the song. And right now, I still have trouble to like, if I listen to a Migos song, I have no idea what they're saying. I have to look into it. And that's how it all started. I got curious about what they were saying. And some of my teammates would have every rap song basically memorized, and that's how I did it. I just, I wanted to be able to rap the fast parts with them, and it didn't help me learn English. It helped me with the process of thinking in English. It helped me with being able to process faster and keeping up with conversations and being able to pronunciate a little bit faster. And it was basically a great enunciation tool. It really just helped to be able to talk a little bit better. But I didn't learn English that way.
Probably came in handy for that first convo with Kelley, though, huh? Throw a little bit of that.
No, I started off a little bit after. It was a few months after when I actually started getting into this. And the first song I learned was Backstreet Freestyle by Kendrick Lamar. That's the very first song I learned. I memorized the whole thing, had no clue what he meant, no clue what he was saying. And a lot of it, I missed a lot of part of the culture and the background of hip hop and what they really are trying to say, right? So a lot of it makes more sense now than it did back then.
That's cool.
We might get you
maybe
possibly to spit a little verse for us here after the show.
Yeah, we'll
just
to
see. Well, we're gonna test these skills. Yeah, we'll save that for a little bit later. But I've heard all about it. I want to see it live.
Okay.
So you obviously had a superstar college career. You won 11 tournaments, which is second only to Phil Mickelson.
Best right-handed ever to play.
You're the best right-hander by far, just barely ahead of Jeff Quinney, but definitely the second best ever to play at Arizona State. You're number one amateur in the world, won the Ben Hogan Award twice. But what kind of relationship did you have with Phil in college, and like what kind of role did he play in your golf game?
Tim, don't get mad at me for this, but it was a heck of a recruiting tool for Tim to be his brother, because we heard a lot of things that never happened. Yeah. So I actually met Phil when I was in San Diego once with TPI, because with the Spanish Golf Federation, we used to go to TPI and and basically by meeting Dave Phillips, who's my swing coach now, he was good friends with him, and we played matches. And I played my first match against him sophomore year, and I played basically one every year after that. And that's the relationship we had in college. I got really close with Tim. Tim became basically my father figure in the States. Somebody I could talk to and help me out a lot. He has some stories. If you ever have him here, which you should, he can tell you a few that are pretty funny that I'm not going to talk about because it's a little embarrassing to talk about.
Wait, he gave me, I talked to him earlier. He gave me one. And I said,
"Oh, you talked to him?
I talked.
Oh, wow, you're smart.
No.
We come prepared at Subpar.
I know. I'm pretty sure I know which one it is.
No. I don't think you will. I reached out and asked him actually something serious. I said, when was the first time you realized Jon was going to be a superstar and how good he was? And he told me, your freshman year, y'all were at a tournament at Pumpkin Ridge up in Oregon. And y'all play and you get finished and you're like, man, this place is easy. All cocky and confident. You go out and shoot 76.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Hand him his scorecard and he's like, thought you said this place was easy. You go out and fire 76, huh? He goes, and you said, don't worry, I'm going to go low. And then you proceeded to shoot 65, 66 the next two rounds. And he goes, that's when I knew the kid really had something special.
Yeah, Pac-12 preview. I had no idea what conference was either. I was there playing, I ended up finishing second by one shot.
I heard all about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I said that a lot in my college career. I shot 77, 78 the next two days. This place, dude, wait till tomorrow, coach. I'm going to go low as shit. And then it was 80, 79, but you know what?
You just immediately say this place is hard. So
yeah, dude, they changed it.
I don't think at that point I had a couple funny ones with him. Like at that point, I couldn't express myself that well either. It's just not that it was easy. I was just feeling comfortable. Like it really felt like being on the Northeast. It was like being back home. So like it really felt like I was playing at home. That's kind of what I meant. Like I was comfortable, not that it was easy. Although I did play really good after that. So it was. Yeah, I mean, still not easy. It's a hard golf course.
No, it's a very good golf course.
Yeah, it's an incredible joint. You mentioned the name of your swing instructor. You seem like a guy that doesn't really get caught up in mechanics and all that stuff. Do you actually, you mentioned that you work with somebody? How often are you seeing him? Do you guys really do work? Because when I played with you, you're like, nah, dude, I don't really work on anything. I just kind of go play.
Not that often. Maybe 3 times a year. I mean, when I go to San Diego, I play with him and we check. I'm a person who really understood his swing early on. So my first coach, when I really started playing good, his name is Eduardo Telles. And I still go back to him if I need things. He's still at home in that small ass range where I grew up. People would not believe what that place was. He really made me understand my golf swing. And he always told me one thing. It's like the golf ball would always be the professor for you. Let it be the teacher. If it's working, it's working. And then if not, he taught me how to think about it. It's like, okay, the ball's going right. Why is it going right? Club face is open. Okay. Is it starting on line? No, it's starting right. So the path is still inside and the club face is open. It's just basically deductively thinking and being able to come up with a solution and be able to hit it, a little bit better.
And that's so different than most of the young guys out on tour and the young guys coming up. Everybody is so mechanical and,
I hate it.
TrackMan.
You watch
these
guys. I mean, the TrackMan's a great tool.
fine, but
obviously.
the mechanical stuff.
But TrackMan's needed to know how far you hit it. Yeah.
But you watch these younger guys coming up, and I mean, they have 4 or 5 people behind them at all times, and he's one of the most just feel-related guys I've ever seen, and it's awesome to watch. I mean, there's no panicking about your golf swing. You just go out and play.
I actually have a rule on tournaments. There's nobody from my team, no matter who's there. If Dave's there, if my trainer's there, my therapist, my physical therapist is there, it doesn't matter who it is all week, unless I ask. The only one that can be there on the range or on the golf course is my caddy. That's it. Unless I ask, I don't want anybody else there.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah,
that's incredible because you mentioned it. You see these entourages behind people. They got their physical guy, they got their swing guy, they got their mental guy, they got everybody there. It's like, how many chefs do you need in the kitchen, to make a meal? Like, you don't need it. And you saying that you let the ball be your professor or be your instructor. That's a great analogy. But does that help you self-correct on the golf? Like, hey, the ball's going right. I'm missing it right. You're not like, oh my God, I got to finish and see my teacher, as opposed to like, hey, dude, on the next tee, I know what it is. I'm going to fix it on the next shot.
That's why that's a key to my consistency. That's why I'm so consistent all throughout, is because I know, you're not always going to hit it perfect, right? You just got to make the best with what you have. And I understand my swing and I know how I'm missing. Obviously, there's sometimes where, all hell breaks loose and you don't feel. But for the most part, I can figure it out to maintain certain certain score and certain result and be able to pull the round through. I mean, how many times throughout the year you actually say, you play around and hit it perfect.
Yeah, not very often.
Sometimes.
I've never done
How
it.
many times through tournaments actually you've even when you are playing really good 4 days, out of those 4 days you're gonna have a stretch where you got like, okay, it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah.
So just being able to, what my dad calls survival golf or survival swing, of just keeping it in play or just something that works, is what I do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're one of the best in the world. So, I mean, your good's obviously really good, but the reason you're so good is because your bad is very manageable. When you have a bad day, you're still getting it around maybe a couple under par, which is huge. And the thing I love hearing you say is, I understand my golf swing, which a lot of people I don't think do. But that's also why you're number 3 in the
I
world.
feel like old school dudes had this mentality, right? Like your Trevinos, these guys, they understood their golf swing. They weren't trying to be perfect on the camera, trying to be perfect technicians. They were just trying to go play golf and know what their ball was doing. You seem more like an old school throwback as opposed to these new kids who are like all into every position being perfect and doing all that stuff.
I haven't changed my mechanics, my swing, since maybe 8th grade, 9th grade, something like that.
Yeah.
Approx. Like it's been the same for so long.
That's a good way to golf. Very good way to golf.
Well, it's just, each one.
And it works. I mean, why would you change anything? If you were shooting 76 every round, be like, all right, I got to do something different. This ain't working. But when you're doing what you're doing, why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, and it's crazy because at that time, a lot of people, national coaches, not my swing coach, but some coaches would actually try to get me rid of that bowed wrist. Right? Something that at that time was panic, now is what everybody's almost looking for.
That's what everybody,
So it's crazy how things go. Like I was just doing that. They were like, the way I learned how to create power by using my hips is basically what created me to have that bowed wrist to hit a fade. And it's basically what's made me so consistent and hit it like that. It's crazy that at that point, they were so focused on trying to have a perfect swing.
Did your pops golf? You mentioned he's called it, like your pops called survival golf. Was he the one that got you into it? Was he a big golfer? Is he kind of that's the reason why you started playing?
My family, nobody in my family, anybody had even stepped on a golf course really knew what golf was until my dad started playing. And my dad only started because of a group of friends. Was in southern Spain when the Ryder Cup was going on in '97. And they said, hey, let's try this thing. And my dad's like, it's not for athletes, this and that. Keep in mind, at that time, my dad was into free rock climbing, not parasailing, but paragliding.
That's a little different. Yeah.
Free skiing. So like him and my mom would like hike the Mont Blanc, put the skis on and hike and free ski down. And
no lifts, just hike up. Strap them on and
put them on and you go down. And like they were into things like that. So obviously golf was not on the radar.
So what you're saying is me and your dad have nothing in common.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So he started playing. He fell in love with it. And then he started playing. My mom started playing. My brother started playing. I was a little young at first. So they would pick me up from school and they would go get the golf lesson. And I would just sit and watch. Like my mom says, sometimes I would eat something. Sometimes I would take a nap. At some point, we're all curious as kids, right? So I just picked up a club and started hitting it.
Yeah, that's common. Eat something and take a nap.
Love that.
That's what. That was mostly my regime.
I still do that.
You know what, dude? I was gonna practice, but I'm gonna eat something and take a nap. I gotta refresh the batteries. I can't go out there on E.
Yeah, I feel like in Spain, a lot of people have that. Like Sergio's dad is the head pro. Olazabal's dad was, worked maintenance on the golf course. Sevi's family lived on the golf course. His brothers were caddies. I feel like a lot of people have that story related. I'm like, in my case. No, none of us had any clue what it was. It's speaking of
Sevi, did you get to spend much time with him or ever play around the golf with him?
No, by the time I could understand who he was and what he did, not that cancer had already kicked in, but he wasn't feeling that great. He wasn't playing, and shortly after, cancer kicked in.
But he's like your call it idol or whatever.
Yeah.
He's the guy you look up to in the game of golf and try to say that's the standard. That's kind of what I want to be.
Yeah, very different ways to play the game, obviously.
Yes, I love them.
Very different ways to play the game. I mean, between him and very, very different.
Yes.
But the charisma that Sevi had, the way people gravitated towards him, the way they followed him, the way he entertained people is what I love and I try to copy. Because at the end of the day, we are playing and we are entertainers.
Yeah.
Right. And people pay ticket and they're there to watch you perform. So, I try to, that's what I try to copy a little bit from him. It's hard because he was very unique, but he did so many great things. At the same time, how golf grew, not only in Spain, but in, around the world, thanks to him, right? I mean, when he started playing golf, there was, I think, 10,000 people that had a license to play golf. When he retired, there was 350,000. So because of the Ryder Cup in Spain that he had a lot to do with, I started playing golf. So that's where I go more towards. I try to put it up on myself to grow the sport of golf in Spain, and as much as I can, just because it's my duty, just for the people in the future. Hopefully someday some kid can say that because of me started playing golf and is doing great things. I mean, that's why we have a junior event in Spain now. Not many people know about it. It's only been 2 years, but starting to do some things and hopefully grow the game. Hopefully we can start at some point, having the junior event here in the U.S.
Yeah, speaking of some of these great Spanish players that you're talking about, one of the things that I've noticed is that all of them that you've mentioned so far, Sergio, Seve, all have great nicknames. Sergio is El Nino. Seve was El Matador. And now you are the next guy in line to take over the Spanish throne. You're kind of waving the flag for the Spanish people. You need a good nickname for you, and I feel like no one's come up. I call you Spaniard from the movie Gladiator, which I think is a phenomenal name. I don't know if that's too broad, like, hey, dude, I'm Spaniard. Like that's representing the whole country.
Hey, dude,
but you're
I'm
the guy
Spaniard.
right now. Spaniard, I think, is the name you got to roll with. Do you like Spaniard? Or if you don't, you need a nickname going forward that people are like, Sergio El Nino on the back of the hat. I remember when I watched him at the Masters when he was a kid. I was like, El Nino, he's my favorite.
God, you haven't seen my hats lately then. Well, they probably haven't focused.
But what do they say?
Rambo.
Yeah, Rambo.
Yeah, Rambo with an H of my last name.
I think that's too generic.
Yeah,
I think we need
gotta
something.
come up with something.
These are hot
Too generic.
Spanish
I love
names.
it. Okay.
And they're all Spanish. El Nino, El Matador. You need a Spanish name. I'm here right now to promote Spaniard for you. After Russell Crowe in Gladiator, who is the baddest man in the world.
Agreed.
And one of the best movies of all time.
Agreed.
Yes.
I'll leave it up for whoever's listening.
Yes.
Hopefully journalists are listening.
There are a bunch of them are.
I think we're going to come up with something.
You
Spanish.
can come up. I'm scared of what you two can come up with, but if it's a Spanish one, come up with something Spanish.
Spaniard
And we'll
is
see if
pretty
it works.
Spanish. Spaniard is Spanish.
Spaniard is Spanish.
Spaniard is as
It's
Spanish
not
as it
Spanish.
gets.
It's English.
But you are
Well,
the
no.
Spaniard.
Well, it
You know what I
refers
mean?
that I'm from Spain, but that doesn't mean
Exactly.
it's not Spanish.
But that means you're like you embody the whole nation. I think that's a pretty good name, dude. What do you think?
We'll work on it.
Spaniard.
I think next thing is going
All
to be
right,
El
so we're
Spaniard.
going forward.
El
Rough
Spaniard.
draft.
El
with
Spaniard is the next thing, right?
El Spaniard.
Yeah,
That's officially.
Oh,
Spanish.
no. I mean, if somebody comes up with something I like, so far I like Rambo. I mean, I know it's not Spanish, but based on my name, it's not the most Spanish name in the world.
It ends in a vowel.
El Rambo.
El Rambo. Yeah, I like that.
Perfect.
You just had a la or an L in front of it, immediately Spanish.
All right, let's talk a little bit about your PGA Tour career so far. Obviously, you're still very, very young. You've won 3 times. Farmers Insurance, American Express, and you teamed up with Ryan Palmer to win the Zurich.
Mm-hmm.
To this point, would you say you've overachieved, underachieved, or kind of right on pace for what you thought you would be in your career?
So I would say maybe underachieved on the PGA Tour because I've had great opportunities to win other events that I wasn't able to. Greatly overachieved on the European Tour.
Greatly overachieved. Wow, that's
So
What's the difference between playing, is it harder to close out here, or is it different, or is it the courses over there that suit you better, or that you suit your eye more, or is there any difference whatsoever?
it's a bit of both, right? I mean, there is a little more depth, and I know European Tour is going to hate this, but there is a little more depth of players in the PGA Tour, right? I mean, there is, especially the calendar I choose to play, I try to go to the bigger events, so there's just more people that are going to have a chance to win in Europe. They're all quality players, right? But not everybody who's up there, you can see a name of somebody who's not experienced or is brand new and maybe is not used to that stage. Now, luckily with the Rolex Series event, you get a little bit bigger stages now. But, I think a lot of people obviously are trying to gravitate to play more of a PGA Tour schedule. And that's, those big events here is what makes it a little bit more difficult to win.
okay.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
So like you said, you play obviously a very strong schedule, the biggest events and all that. Which event, other than the majors, because we all know you look forward to the majors the most, which event would you say you look forward to the most each year?
Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
Hometown.
Best by far. I mean, tournament I want to win most besides majors.
Really?
It's just, I mean, being an ASU guy,
Yeah.
Been here for 7 years, love the golf course, love the atmosphere, love the environment. I've been
Fans
fortunate
love
enough
you.
to win the Spanish Open, right? So it's kind of like being able to win my second home open. So it'll be really cool. There's many others though. I do love the Charles Schwab Invitational. I love Colonial Country Club.
Yep.
It's a great golf course. Fortunately, I can't play this year. I wish I could. There's many others throughout the year that are great. Obviously, I love Torrey. Not only because I won, there's just a great golf course. Love Pebble, love LA. Basically, I love the whole West Coast swing. I'm going to say that. And then throughout the year, there's many great ones. I used to want to really win at Akron just because of how good of a golf course it is and how good of a tournament. Not possible. After playing in Memphis, because of what St. Jude represents in the city and what they do, it will be a really cool one to win as well. But it really, besides everything, I would really love to win.
It's an incredible tournament. Have you ever done a hospital visit there?
I have not done a hospital visit, no.
It'll change everything. It's incredible.
Well, I did. So the tournament I have in Spain partners with something similar. It's a foundation that manages a children's hospital in Spain. And I did a visit like that before winning the Spanish Open this year. And it truly is life-changing.
It is.
It makes any problem you have so small.
Yep.
Anything that you think it's a problem in your life it just seems so insignificant. You have a completely different outlook on life.
Yeah. It's very well said. You could change your whole perspective on that. But you mentioned the Phoenix Open. What do you got planned? You got anything special planned for 16? I know you've trotted out the Rombo jerseys. You've done different things. What are you going to do for the people on 16?
For the people.
For the people,
For
dude.
the people.
No,
it is the people.
Los personas. The jersey, I do it for me. There is something on the works, and it's not up to me.
Does it involve the gladiator mask and you wearing it while you hit?
You've told me this years ago.
It's a great idea, dude.
If I could, it would. And I would gladly grab the mic and just yell out, "You're not entertained."
Yeah,
I would love
that's
to do
exactly it, dude. And they'll chant Spaniard. It'll be a whole thing, dude. That's where Spaniard gets launched. That's where Spaniard gets launched into the stratosphere.
I would love to. It's just I can't hit it with the mask on like that.
You just got to practice a little. You can hit it with anything on. By the way, you hit it to 30 feet, make a par, no big deal. Move on. You can still win, dude. As good as you are, you still win the thing.
There is actually something on the works with one of my sponsors.
Ooh, a little secret reveal for the 16. You don't have to reveal it right now, but you got something in the works for 16?
Yeah, no, it's not up to me.
Oh, I love that.
So
okay.
if
we won't even ask you
if they do it. I don't know if I'm gonna be the only one doing it. Because they sponsor more than one athlete.
Oh, okay, got you.
So hopefully it'll be really cool. For people in the stands, they're gonna like it. They're gonna enjoy it.
That's good. I'm looking forward to seeing that here in a couple of weeks. Serious golf question right here. I'm gonna ask you as of right now, and you cannot answer yourself. Okay, I'm eliminating you from saying your own name for the answer to this question. I'm taking away that option. If everyone on planet Earth, everyone on the PGA Tour, European Tour, shows up to an event, everyone is at the top of their game. Everyone is playing the best they can possibly play. They go out and play, and everyone plays to their top of their potential. Who wins the golf tournament?
Ooh,
Everyone's the best. You can't say you.
Yeah.
I'm taking you away because I know you're self-confident. You would answer yourself. I got that. And I'm going to just assume that you would answer you. But who besides you?
100% of the capabilities right now.
Right now, current day.
Because otherwise it's Tiger.
Exactly. That's it. You're right.
Yeah, present day.
Present day. A random event. I'm not going to say like the Masters or the U.S. Open.
I would actually that answer really depends on the golf course.
Oh, do you want me to pick one? I'll pick one. And
I feel like they'll be different. Like,
okay, yeah. Let's each pick a golf
All right, I'm
course.
going to pick one. Everyone, you're out. You don't included. You're not in the field. You're like me. You're like Colt. You're not on the field. Masters. April. Everyone shows up, plays the best they're possibly capable of playing. Who wins?
I would say Rory wins by a margin.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Andrew, who would you say, Colty?
I mean, still Tiger's the best around there.
You think Tiger right now,
I think
current
now
day,
he's
played
back,
his best?
His game is get really good.
I would have said what he said.
It's just up there. So, I mean.
He has demons there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's playing his best, the best golf he can play. We're not talking about
That's
demons.
true.
Demons go
That's
away.
what I'm asking.
But it's there. And I guess if he plays his best, you're right.
Like, it's just, I mean, the way he hits the ball and that draw, it's just hard to beat there. And, I mean, I feel like, think about it. He's playing perfect. He's hitting every par 5 in 2, probably hitting it close. His best. He would be somewhere in the 20s on their par if he's playing his best.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay,
I'll give you a golf course that doesn't suit any type of player. TPC Sawgrass for the players.
That's a hard one.
Yes.
That opens up a whole
I asked the hard
array.
questions here.
Right. I asked the fluffers.
So now in that case, you need to go with somebody. You need to go with somebody who's more accurate. Not that Rory's not. Now it's when other names come up.
I mean, Rory did win there last year.
True.
Yeah, thanks
very
for that,
versatile player.
Yep.
You're not in the field.
It's hard. That one's hard. I could say it's anybody's. It's hard. Like that golf course,
I feel like that's a better one for Tiger than the Masters, honestly.
Really?
Because I think the driver's the one weak to this day. The weakness he doesn't drive it at elite
he's
level.
driving it better now than he ever has.
He's driving,
but better than he has, but not as good as a Rory or a DJ on top of his game.
His problem right now, besides back pain and how he can move, I would say, is he used to be the longest hitter by far.
Right.
Right now, because of how things have evolved, there's people hitting it so much farther than him.
Exactly. That's why I think TPC
Even he'll say,
but he's still one of the best iron players in the world.
No, he's still the best by far.
Exactly. So TPC.
Anytime we go do a photo shoot with TaylorMade, he whoops our ass with irons. It's
really?
not even close.
What do y'all do? Like some sort of combine or something?
Well, last year I think it was, we did a thing where we were in Floridian in the par 3, and they had a couple flags, and Tiger's picking shots, and I mean not even freaking close. The ball flight, the way he changes, and how accurate he is not even. I mean, you can't compare. None of us get close.
Really? To this day, right now, current day. No. That's cool to hear, by the way.
Cool.
That's really cool to hear.
I thought another cool thing, it just shows how much Tiger has changed in the last few years. The fact that TaylorMade was able to get him in a onesie for the Christmas app.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we all laughed. He was great.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about, I mean, how did they convince all y'all to get up in a onesie? I guess they write y'all a check. That's how it went.
That's exactly how I'll tell you how it went down.
Well, it's for people that think it's Photoshop, it's not.
Good.
Okay.
I like hearing that.
It's like 6 a.m, 6:30. It's like we're all eating, we're having a coffee, and you see the racks of clothes that we're gonna wear throughout the day, and we all see a onesie, and we're like, is this a joke?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
they didn't tell you beforehand, like, hey, you're gonna wear a onesie, we're gonna do this?
What we're all thinking is we hope we're not doing the midday, and I hope we're not swinging, because it will be hot as hell in Florida to do that. And no, they told us it's a Christmas card. I thought, I'm like, oh, that's actually a pretty cool idea.
That's funny.
You know, nothing better than seeing Jason Day, Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson, Tiger, me, and Morikawa and Wolf just in a freaking onesie, putting ornaments in a tree, and just Rory sitting down like a little kid. Like that. I thought it was so funny to see. It was great.
It was great. That was one of the best.
It was great
things I've seen from TaylorMade. I loved it.
That was good. Well, the things like that, does that make you like? Obviously, when you're on the golf course, you want to beat those guys. You want to kill those guys.
Yeah.
They're rivals. They're competitors. Things like that. But when you do things like that, is it like, hey, we're all boys? It's cool. Does it make you like closer with them, kind of as competitors and things like that? When you're doing things not, hey, I'm trying to rip your face off right now.
Yeah, you share an experience. I mean, it's pretty cool. You know, you get to talk to them, and to me, it was eye-opening the first time that Tiger was in one of those, and Jason Day was just going off on him, like completely just joking on him and being pretty.
Did Tiger take it or Tiger fire back?
Tiger's a little more quiet. I think we all know that if he wants to, he can win any argument.
I mean,
all he's got to do is
right. Exactly. So it's like he can basically just get it done. But it's just funny to me. It was eye-opening to see. You know, I mean, he's a human being, right? But it's just
but he's still Tiger Woods.
Exactly. You don't. I'm like, dude, he's Tiger. Respect him. Like, come on, man. Like,
don't talk to Tiger.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Tiger. So your first Ryder Cup was 2018. Mm-hmm. You got paired against him in singles and took him down. Give us a little glimpse into what that was like. I mean, what was like even the night before? When
how much time did we
I know. I mean,
forever.
But even the night
for
before,
unlimited amount of time.
So did you sleep well? I mean, how was the morning? Like, what was the first tee like?
I slept great. Sleeping wasn't a problem. It was more. I find out at 7 p.m. I'm still at the golf course, waiting for the shuttle, and I knew I was going to go on the first 4. And obviously, just looking down, right? I mean, you're hoping you don't see some names. Like Justin Thomas was playing great that week. I wasn't, right? You see other players playing great that week. And I see, Rory, JT, oh, great match. And I see Paul Casey, Justin Rose. And I look at my name and I see a T. And I'm like, it's either Tony Finau or Tiger Woods. And I see it, and I see the W, and I'm like, oh, boy. I'm like, the guy had just won East Lake. He's lost all his matches, so he's probably pissed off and wants to win. Yeah, I'm not playing good because I was feeling so bad. I had just gotten my wisdom teeth out. I was weak as hell. I mean, it was terrible.
You got your wisdom teeth out right for the Ryder Cup?
Oh, a couple days before East Lake.
You got to talk to your dentist about that, dude. Like, we got to.
Well, you know who advised me to do it.
Who's that?
Oh, he's a member at the same club we're members at. He played with him the other day.
Stoey?
Yeah.
Our local dentist took your wisdom.
To the good doctor?
He's probably loaded up on the U.S. to win the Ryder Cup. He's going to do everything he can to ruin you.
No. I had an infection in Boston playing with like a 103 fever because of the wisdom teeth that were just coming out, and he got infected. So I had to get them out. I mean, if I'm playing the Ryder Cup with an infection, it's bad. And I was just weak because I didn't have solid food until like the Thursday or Friday of East Lake. So I was just catching up. So like, I see Tiger, and I'm back there, and I'm like, oh boy. And Kelley sees it, and everybody's like, dude, great, you're gonna play amazing. And they're like, you serious? Like, I was really intimidated by the moment, like first Ryder Cup, first single.
Yeah, that's a big task.
And so basically, right away, I called my mental coach. We talked about certain things, how I'm gonna approach it. And then while we're talking, I talked to Thomas Bjorn and Tommy Fleetwood. Tommy Fleetwood gave me some great advice, a lot of confidence, and Thomas Bjorn probably gave me the best advice. He was telling me how, well, something we all know, right? I mean, Tiger really capitalizes on the mistakes of his opponents. He's not going to miss a shot. He's going to make every single putt. He's just going to wait, play easy, hit on the fairway on the green, and wait till you make a mistake and really capitalize on that. It's like, you need to beat him on his own way, in his own game. And I'm like, dude, I can't hit the fairway.
how play perfect. Thanks for the advice, guys.
Yeah, it's like, you can't miss. And I'm like, cool. Well, so I really started thinking about my swing, what I could do, and the strategy. And I'm like, okay, I think I got it. Went to sleep, slept great. The next morning, the 30 minutes to the golf course, I talked to my mental coach the whole time because I'm like nervous. I'm shaking. I'm like, this is right. It's a big stage. And while I'm warming up, I'm like, I try something. I'm like, let's try to see if this helps. And I'm with like a 3-iron. I'm a hybrid iron. Absolutely flush it. And I'm like, that feels good. I'm going to do it again. Flush it. Grab the driver. Flush it. I'm like, okay, I think I'm onto something here. And, the nerves or the panic went down big time. So I was like, if I can hit a few good, I think I'm comfortable. And then the one goal I said to myself that day, I was like, I'm just going to play like he's not even there. I'm going to act like Tiger's not playing. It's just me against the golf course trying to play the most organized round possible. And that was hard to do on that first tee because, man, I mean, you have 10,000 people. You're standing next to Tiger. They're chanting his name, too, because it is Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
He just won for the 80th time. It was, a big moment. And he tees off first, hits it in the fairway. I try not to really, think about it because it's a narrow fairway. And I hit my shot. Best shot all week was that iron on the tee.
Would you say that first tee was the most nervous you've been in golf?
Oh, by far.
Really?
Not even close.
That's
not
awesome. Yeah.
even close. The best way I can explain it, when you're a kid, first time you're thinking of asking a girl out or telling that you like her, you're complete panicking.
I love that this is
right?
the analogy.
Think about it.
This is the analogy. Perfect.
Complete panic, right? I mean, you remember that feeling. You're like, oh my God, what if she says no? What if it this? What if it that?
Yeah.
And I'm there like, what if I hit in the water? If I fit in the rough? What if I do this? What if I lose? And imagine that times 100. And obviously applied to golf, but like that same panic feeling.
That's a perfect analogy.
I've told so many chicks that I was pretty positive were going to say no, and I was nervous, but I don't think it would compare to what I was feeling against Tiger Woods on the first tee
and that's
in
the
the
best
Ryder Cup.
And the whole day, like even with all that, I acted like he wasn't there completely. Like ignored him, never looked at him, never did anything. And I mean, I played pretty much perfect. The only bogey I made was 16. It was after a faulty 3-putt. But besides that, it was just a solid round.
Is that one of your biggest accomplishments? Like when you look back on your career right now, you're still super young, obviously. But is that like a thing that jumps out at you? Like this is the highlight of my career, or no? Or is it like winning this tournament was the highlight? But because that's as a kid growing up that like watches Tiger Woods win every single event. Now you're squaring off against him head to head. That's
so
got to
different.
be something that registers.
It is so different to anything. Let's just say match play is different to any stroke play event you play because it's 1-on-1, but the Ryder Cup is so different. It's by far, I would say, the most fun I've had at a golf course. I mean, that moment on the 17th green was by far the best.
I remember
feeling.
watching it, dude.
Yeah. So I'm curious, and I don't know if you'll share it or not, but you hugged Tiger after you beat him, and you said something, and I know he said something back. Can you share what?
I was crying.
Really?
So, I mean, I make that putt and I just explode. All the things I have inside, I just go off. And for other reasons, that moment was special. And, it was when I turned around, I see Tiger's coming towards me with his hand out, after I hug at him. And I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, like for the reaction, like it was such an honor to share this match with you. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm glad, I was like, like, I'm glad it was against you. Like, like, and I really apologize for the reactions. Like, dude, don't even, like, you deserved it. Enjoy it. Like, he was really like,
oh, that's awesome.
That's what he said?
Yeah.
That's what
he's
he
like,
said?
dude, don't, like, enjoy it. Like, while I was crying.
That's incredible.
Yeah, you can't see me cry, but I'm just.
Oh, dude, I totally get it. Yeah, I mean, this is the guy you grew up.
That was the most special moment I'll ever have on a green, probably almost ever, just because of a lot of things that happen. People don't know this, but after a 3-putt, I have that putt to win, and I'm thinking about it. My grandpa had just passed away in August. My grandpa was by far the biggest fan I had, and the first thought that comes to mind was like, man, I wish he was here to see me. For whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
And then I think, I'm like, I know him. He's probably up there wheeling this ball in. For whatever reason, he made me hit that driver straight for sure. And that wedge shot. He's probably even, he was a bit of he liked to mess with people, and after he probably liked to mess with me enough to make me miss that putt at 16 as well. But I'm in that moment, and I always have my routine where I hit a couple practice putts. I do a practice swing, and I step back to look at my line again and fix on a point. As I step back, some guy in Spanish yells, "Just do it for Sevi," and I'm like, what Sevi means to me, and the Ryder Cup, and they're like, "Oh my god." Yeah. You can't add any more to this.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I think, and I get a moment of calmness, and I'm thinking, Sevi's out there, my grandpa's out there. This is going in. It's destined for it to go in. And I go in as calm as I possibly could be in that moment. I hit it. I don't see it go in. If you see the reaction, I'm celebrating before that ball goes in. It's the coolest moment I'll ever have on a golf course, probably ever. I don't think you can compare with just the level of emotion. And that's why the reaction was the way it was. It's just not because of the Ryder Cup or everything. It was more for my grandpa than anything else.
Damn, that's
I didn't know we were gonna get so deep in this interview.
I love that's.
Well, those things that people don't know.
Stuff.
Yeah,
people that
awesome.
have never heard
That's
that
why.
story
Then I see
before in my
Tiger and I
life.
start crying oh my god.
And he was really cool. He said
he was so cool about it.
That's really cool too, because obviously he wants to win a point. And he wants to do what he does for the U.S. and all that. But he understands what a big moment that is for you, a young kid that's grown up, probably worshiping Tiger Woods most guys your age do. All of us did growing up. He understands that that's a huge moment in your life, and he's not trying to,
I think
take away from that at all.
He's been there too, right? I guess it's just he's had so many moments. I think he's probably.
What's your relationship like with him now? Are you guys cool? You guys joke around? You guys hang out, or is there still? I
haven't been able to hang out with them because I live on the West Coast. All these people on the East Coast do spend more time with them, but I haven't really. Still enough to joke around and mess around, but not
see him in a onesie. You're one of the few that's seen him in person in a onesie. True.
Who knows? Maybe that's it with his kids.
Tell him to bring back Mac Daddy Santa.
Mac Daddy Santa.
That was the picture for the ages, bro. That's the one. I put that on my Christmas
card. If TaylorMade hears this, well, you guys have an idea.
Mac Daddy Santa needs to be back.
That would be pretty cool. Tiger as a Santa, and we're us asking for presents. Please, Santa, let me, let me win this event.
Please, God. Yeah, exactly.
Y'all can be his little elves.
Exactly.
True.
Well, that's an unbelievable story, man. That's really cool. I hadn't heard that. I didn't know the reaction. I didn't know what you guys said and all that. That's really cool that you would share that with us. I got one last real golf question for you here. Serious question. Fast forward 25, 30 years from now, whatever it is, you're retired from golf. You're looking back on your career. How many tournament wins or majors won would it take for you to be totally content, happy with your career, being like, man, I don't regret it. That was the best I could have done. What's your expectation level? I guess as you're so young right now.
I wouldn't put it on wins because obviously I'm going to say as many as I can. But much like Kobe Bryant said once, I'll be satisfied if every time I practice and every time I go out there, I say, I've done 100%. If I give it my 100% on everything I do for golf and all the decisions I make, I cannot say I wasn't satisfied. If I truly committed to the highest percentage of what I can, practiced as hard as I could, and really dedicated to my craft and what I wanted to do, whether I win more tournaments or not, I've done all I can. I can say I'm satisfied.
Yeah, that's a cool way. That's a cool way to look at it. No numbers. I need this many majors. I need this many wins. Just everything I do, I'm going to go all the way in, and we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah, right now I'm focused on major number 1, and, we'll go after that if I ever get there.
That leads me to my second last question of the day. If you were going to predict which major suits you best or where you will win your first, where is it going to be?
It's hard because only one of them is on the same golf course every year, so I think we all feel comfortable there because at least you get to know the golf course and how to play it. The other ones, it really depends. Like you have the Open that can be so different.
But you've been so good in Europe. You think it's the Open Championship, or do you love Augusta?
If I had to choose as a European and as a lover of the game, the Open would be the highest honor for me to win. Like Claire Jag and being called the champion golfer of the year could be the coolest and the highest honor I could win, with a close second being the Masters.
That walk-up 18 at the Open Championship, there's nothing like it.
That's got to be the coolest thing. Yeah.
Like if you're walking down there and you've won, like Shane Lowry in Ireland this year. That could have been the highest honor an Irish player can ever get.
Yeah,
if Tiger doesn't win the Masters, that's the coolest moment in golf last year.
Yes.
Like by far, I think.
Yeah. And obviously the way Tiger won too, that was really unique.
But for Shane Lowry to win in his home country in the way he won was
by a bunch.
That walk had to be the coolest. He probably just
he could never play golf again, probably, and be like, I'm totally fine.
Yeah,
we'll never get higher.
And
than
he
that
knows how to
right
celebrate.
Now. He gets amongst it.
I love him.
Yes.
All right. So one of the things kind of throughout your career that you have had some criticism for, and it's your fiery attitude, personality a little bit. What do you say to the people that criticize that? Do you just say that's me being me? Have you tried to work on it? Do you think it's ever going to change, or?
No, I work on it. It's a work in progress. It's for people that don't know and can't and don't experience, what it is to compete at the highest level and have that to work with. It's hard because at the same time, it's not something that's damaged my performance in my game. It's helped me play better, right? Just being mad is something that helped me make that birdie on 18 against Tiger. Being mad is what helped me do a lot of things. Or getting angry, not mad, like angry at some point. Same in Ireland, for example, this year I made bogey in the short par 4 on 13. I come back making birdie in 14, 15, and 17. So like it's helped me out highest percentage of the time in my career. There is some times when I've gone way overboard and I've lost it, like at Erin Hills. I mean, that's probably one of the worst times of my career. I regret that so much, and that's why it's so hard to change it, because I need to slowly tailor it to. Obviously everybody gets mad on the golf course. It's just the reaction, and that's what I'm trying to work on. I hate that because I'm not a person that complains, but I hate the fact that it sounds like I'm so whiny, because I'm really not. It's just deflecting over missing a shot. That's a lot of people do it. I just do it more vocally, and I hate that part about me. I hate how there is some kids that can see that and think that's normal. I don't like it, but I'm really trying to work on it, and I'm aware of that. It's just something it's gotten better. I mean, ask Tim from college till now. Slowly it's getting better. I try to. But the hardest thing for me is when people assume that that's who I am. Mm-hmm. I'm a very different person outside the golf course. When I'm competing, I'm passionate for what I do. I work hard for what I do. So yeah, I get upset when I miss something.
And see, that's what I have a hard time with. Like, people say, oh, so-and-so acts this way on the golf course. Like, they shouldn't act that way. And I was like, have you ever had a business deal go bad? Like, do you smile and laugh your way through it? No, you get pissed off. Like, and this is your job. Mm-hmm. And when things go wrong, you get mad, and you're allowed to. I mean, I get it. You don't want to do it in front of kids, and
true.
You don't want to. I think you don't really realize it until you see yourself on TV one time, and you're like, "Oh God, that's what I act like." That's what I think.
There's some bad moment, like, man, yeah. But at the same time, I have some great, celebrations.
Yeah.
When I made that putt in Torrey, I mean, I honestly, and I love these players to death, and they're great players. But when like Dustin or Brooks win and just do this, it's like, I feel like it's so anticlimactic. Like,
winning's hard. At least I think it is.
Like,
I don't know.
I was like, okay. It's like, well, I'm done. So yeah, it's like, like I'd rather see like when Tiger used to. And if you go back in the 80s, they had reactions. I mean, they threw their hats, they turned around, they ran on the green. It was more normal than what it is right now. And I'm not gonna be one of these people who has a poker face 18 holes, and it's not gonna. I have zero emotion. Not a chance in this world. I'm way too Spanish for that.
Yeah, you wouldn't play well. I mean, that's not you.
No, and I've tried it. There's been times when I've tried, and that's when I missed the cut, because I'm contempt. It's just going against my nature. So like the one thing I really focus on is just how that reaction comes across, right, and how I channel it. And it's slowly getting better. There's some times where I might still lose it a little bit, but I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. It's a continuous work of how to get it done. And again, if I could just snap my fingers and fix it like that, I would. But
the interesting thing about that is like the media will jump on you and be like, hey, he needs to calm it down. He needs to be more flatline and all this stuff. Meanwhile, like if you look at the stats last year, I think you were number one in bounce back, meaning like when you made a bogey, you come back to the next hole with more birdies than anyone on. So like it's not a negative to your game. It's not it's hurting him for multiple holes in a row. It's like you have that reaction and it's done. And the next hole you bounce back and make birdies. So I'm like, why would he change that? He's the best dude on the planet Earth in terms of bouncing back after bogeys. When he gets mad, he comes back and makes birdies more than anyone in the world. So why would he change that?
Do you know why I believe? And one of the reasons why I think it's seen so bad in golf is because announcers and journalists keep calling it emotional. Like I'm an unstable person, then I might, do something.
I'm unstable.
Bo Jackson was called passionate.
Yeah.
Breaking bats over his head on a baseball field. It's just
good point. It happens
we're all
in every
passionate
other
about what
sport.
we do. Every other sport, they're passionate.
Yeah.
In golf, we're emotional. Like we're somehow damaged mentally.
Yeah. I've always said that. Like golfers get criticized when they break a club or something. I was like, these baseball guys break their bats all the time. Hockey guys break
football players come over and slam their helmet on the sideline.
It's not like Tiger never got mad on a golf course.
Well, no, as much as anybody.
He's never criticized over that.
All right, I got a little true or false with you leading to that.
Oh, there we go.
So we talked earlier
stuff
about Kelley being a track star, throwing the javelin, True or false? Kelley can throw a javelin further than you can throw a golf club.
Oh man, I know she can throw she could throw a javelin 130 feet. I've never measured how far I can throw.
How many yards?
I think we
got
should
any
have
math majors in here.
130 feet. Well, there's 300 feet and 100 yards, so it's.
Oh, hold on. Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's
you're
go.
right.
Let's go, boys.
No, she had to throw it further than 130 feet.
No, 130 feet. Have you thrown a javelin? Have you seen how it's hard?
I feel like, well, how big? I don't even know. What
Isn't it
javelin
3 feet a yard? So what is that? 40
There's 300
yards?
feet and 100 yards. Dude.
It's just over 40 yards.
Come on.
Yeah, 40 yards.
You're better than
40
this.
yards. Yeah.
I feel like
I think you could. I think you could throw.
I know you can
7-iron
throw a club over 40 yards.
40 yards.
I think we should set up a little contest between you and Kelley one day.
That'd be good. That'd be good. Get the juices flowing. You know what I mean? A little marriage rivalry here.
No, I mean I could, just because of my size, I could probably throw a club further. She can definitely throw a javelin further than me, by far.
All right, so true, you can throw a club further.
Yeah, true.
Got it. That's all I was looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe.
Oh, is this one? I thought
No, that was mine. Now,
Rapid
sure Sleaze
fire.
got
Let's
some
go.
very funny.
Oh, I didn't even know we were doing a
I
true
didn't
or
know we were
false
doing
segment.
rap. I just
Whatever
had-
you come
I
up.
had one or true or false.
True or false? You win a major in 2020.
Ooh.
Hey,
That's
you
right
don't
off
do
the
me.
top of the head, dude.
I can't answer that. If I say yes and I don't win, I look like
No,
no.
No, but if you
So
say
cocky.
yes and it happens, they're like, look, dude,
First
he
off, there's
knew.
two options. It's true or false. There's not a third.
No, true. If you just say true,
I'm
and
gonna
it's
say
like
true.
Joe
What am I
Namath
gonna say? I
with the
always pick-
Super Bowl when he
Pick
won.
the best for myself.
Say true. Yeah. If you say false, you look kind of
No, you have to say true. There's only one answer to that. Is true.
Listen, I can come out looking bad or good in either answer. So
Okay,
I'm going to answer true.
I have a serious
for you
question
on
for
your
you.
behalf.
So Phoenix Open is most likely my last PGA Tour event. Okay, you've won quite a few times on tour. You're not going to lose your card probably ever. If it comes down to me and you in a playoff, will you throw it for me?
hell no, hell no, not a chance.
You're my least favorite guest we've ever had on the Subpar podcast.
Hell no, I'm way too competitive. I can't physically actually try to throw it. Not a chance in this world.
Yeah, you can't just top it in that lake that's right there in front of you.
Not if I can carry it.
Okay, well, you at least
You're going to
try
have to do it on your. You're going to have to win
Well,
outright.
I had to ask.
You do not need a playoff.
He's the fourth
scenario.
person I've asked. I've had 2 yeses with throw it and 2 no's.
Yeah, I'm not. Especially after I just said I want to win that tournament so bad.
Oh
Yeah,
that's
he
a good
just
point.
said
He
that
did
was
say
his
that.
number
I forgot
one
about that.
non-
Pick another one. Maybe I say yeah.
Oh
but
no,
not
this
that
is my
one.
last one. But
Exactly.
That's all I got.
Well, hoping you top 10 and you move on to the following week.
That's fine. Okay, anyways, I'm over you.
Well, what did you expect?
This is
Yeah,
true.
Who
you
said
better
yes,
get it. You
if
better
we
get
can?
him outright, dude.
Justin Thomas said yes, but he was also drinking a little bit when he did say yes. He probably lied to me. And
He's lying.
Ches Reavy also said he would throw it for me.
Okay, let's see.
Gary
I
Woodland.
hope all 4 of us get in the playoff and they throw it
That's going to be awkward.
and see what happens.
And Gary Woodland also said no. Who's supposed to be one of my best friends? And he just won the U.S. Open. He's exempt for forever.
And he's won Phoenix already.
Yeah, and he's won Phoenix. Yeah, let me have one.
Can I get something?
God.
You know what I mean?
It's
How
like you
much
can
do
have
you
money.
need? How much do you need? You know? How much is
I've
enough?
actually asked 5 people. Perez said no as well. Because
Oh, wow.
he's like, I'm not exempt for...
You're
the next
striking
year.
out. You better just go
And
ahead
his-
and win this thing outright.
Yeah,
his,
might as well.
his caddy H was there, and H is like, no, he's not throwing. I was like, H, I'll still give you the win percentage, like what you would have got.
He's like,
Just
okay,
relax.
okay, all right, we'll do it.
As long
I'll give
as he
him,
gets
I'll
paid,
give him a
he's happy.
horrible number. I'll give him a
Yeah.
terrible number. You sure it's 150? It looks like 110. No, dude, it's 150. Just
He's the best.
hit the 9.
Should we get into some little rap stuff here?
Hello, guys. It's Jon Rahm at Subpar, the podcast, and I'm going to be rapping Kendrick Lamar's King Kunta. I'm looking at the lyrics because I do not want to say some of the bad words and get in trouble.
Yes.
So I need to catch myself. So hopefully it's
I'm excited.
anticipated.
Kill this, dude. This
Let's
is your time.
go.
You're about to get famous.
I got a bone to pick. I don't want your monkey mouth motherfucker sitting in my throne again. Foul language too, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm mad. They mad, but I ain't stressing. True friends. One question. Where you and I was walking. Now around the game, get the whole world talking King Kunta. Everybody wanna cut the legs off him. Kunta, black man taking no losses. So yeah. Where you and I was walking. Now around the game, get the whole world talking King Kunta. Everybody wanna cut the legs off him. What you got the yams? The yam
What's
is
the
a power
yams?
that be. You can smell it when I'm walking down the street.
Smell that.
I can dig rapping. Better rapper with the Ghost Rider. What the happened? I swear I wouldn't tell. But most of you sharing buzz like you got the bottom bunk in a 2-man cell.
Jon Rahm.
Something's in the water. But if I got a gun, those but the gold, then I'd rather be a bomb than a motherfucking baller. Where you when I was walking. Now I run again, get the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna cut the legs off him. Kunta, black man taking all. I said, so yeah. Where you when I was walking. See, the hype man is already lost.
Drew Stoltz on the hype man.
Yeah, Jon Rahm.
God, that's incredible.
Richard Pryor. Manipulated Bill Clinton with desires. 24, 7, 3, 65 days times 2. I was contemplating getting off stage just to go back to the hood, see my enemy and say,
Spaniard.
Spaniard.
Cut the legs off him. Kunta, black man taking all. I said, so yeah. Where are you when I was walking? Now around again, get the whole world talking. King Kunta, everybody wanna look at the legs off him. I was gonna kill a couple rappers, but they did it to themselves. Everybody's suicidal, didn't even need my help. This eventually I'd probably go to jail if I shoot at you. Identity and bounce to the left like a flag in my city. Everybody screaming, come to master, probably ruffle me. And when I'm done, to be honest, then I put that in my baby boot too. 20 million walking out the club, better woo woo. Oh yeah, to made it past 25, and I was a little nappy with the world behind him. Life ain't about it. Screaming, Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Limited with the gold play straight from the bottom. Mr. Betty out of bitch, from a question to a prince to a mother. Yeah.
Spaniard!
Incredible. At least you have a fallback plan.
Wow! Shut it. Drop the mic.